I'm going to do the high live video. As you can tell, I'm doing my hair. But oh my God. Um, I'm reading from 816 to 820 at the top paragraph. Um, we're almost through the chapter of the Siege of Gondor, chapter 4 of book 5 of the Return of the King within the Lord of the Rings trilogy by JRR Tolkien. So let's go ahead and get started. The next day came with a morning like a brown dusk, and the hearts of men, lifted for a while by the return of Faramir, sank low again. The winged shadows were not seen again that day, yet ever and anon, high above the city, a faint cry would come, and many who heard it would stand stricken with a passing dread, while the less stout heart was gone again. They give him no rest. Some murmured, the Lord drives his son too hard, and now he must do the duty of two, for himself and for the one that will not return. And ever men looked northward, asking, where are the riders of Rohan? In truth, Faramir did not go by his own choosing, but the lord of the city was the master of his council, and he was in no mood that day to bow to others. Early in the morning, the council had been summoned. There, all the captains judged that because of the threat in the south, the force was too weak to make any stroke of war on their own part, unless perchance the riders of Rohan yet should come. Meanwhile, they must man the walls and wait. Yet, said Denethor, we should not lightly abandon the outer defenses the Romans made with so great a labor, and the enemy must pay daily for the crossing of the river, and that he cannot do to force to assail the city, either north or Care address because of the marshes, or southwards towards Lebanon because of the breadth of the river that needs many boats. It is at Ozolias that he will put his weight. As before, when Boromir denied him the passage, that was but a triumph, said Faramir. Today, we may make the enemy pay 10 times our loss at the passage, and yet rue the exchange. For he can afford to lose a host better than we to lose a company. And the retreat of those that we put out far afield will be perilous. If he wins across the forest, And what of Tsar Andros, said the prince. That too must be held if Goliath is defended. Let us not forget the danger on our left. The Rahim may come and may not, but Faramir has told us of great strength, drawing ever to the Black Gate. More than one host may issue from it and strike for more than one passage. Much must be risked in war, said Denethor, and be sent so far. But I will not yield the river and Pelennor on foot. Not if there is a captain here who has still the courage to do his Lord's will. Then all were silent. But at length Faramir said, I do not oppose your will, sire, since you are robbed of Boromir. I will go and do what I can in his stead, if you command it. I do so, said Denethor. Then farewell, said Faramir. But if I should return, think better of me. That depends on the manner of your return, said Denethor. Gandalf, it was that last spoke to Faramir ere he rode east. Do not throw your life away rashly or in bitterness, he said. You will be needed here for other things than war. Your father loves you, Faramir, and will remember it ere the end. Farewell. So now, the Lord Faramir had gone forth again, and had taken with him such strength of men as were willing to go or could be spared. On the walls, some gazed through the gloom towards the ruined city, and they wondered what chance there for nothing could be seen. And others, as ever, looked north and counted the links to Din and Rohan. Will he come? Will he remember our old alliance? They said. Yes, he will come, said Gandalf, even if he comes too late. But think, at best the red arrow can not have reached him more than 2 days ago, and the miles are long from Edoras. It was night again, eerie news came. A man rode in haste from the forts, saying that a host had issued from Minas Morgul and was already drawing nigh to Osgiliath, and it had been joined by regiments from the south, Haradrim, Cool, and Tall. And we have learned, said the messenger, that the black captain leads him once again, and the fear of him has passed before him over the river. With those ill-boding words, the third day, close since Pippin came to Minas Tirith, few went to rest. For small hope had any now that even Faramir could hold his words for long. The next day, though the darkness had reached its full and grew no deeper, it weighed heavier on men's hearts, and a great dread was on them. Ill news came soon again. The passage of Anduin was one by the enemy. Faramir was retreating to the wall of the Pelennor, rallying his men to the causeway forts, but he was 10 times outnumbered. If he wins back at all across the Pelennor, his enemies will be on his heels, said the messenger. They have paid dear for the crossing, but less dearly than we hoped. The plan has been well laid. It is now seen that in secret they have long been building floats and barges in great number in East Osgiliath. They swarm across the like beetles, but it is the black captain that defends us. Few will stand and abide even the rumor of his coming. His own folk quail at him, and they would slay themselves at his bidding. Then I am needed there, more than here, said Gandalf, and rode off at once, and the glimmer of him faded soon from sight. In awe, that night Pippin alone and sleepless stood upon the wall and gazed eastward. The bells of day had scarcely rung out again, a mockery in the unlightened dark. When far away he saw fighters spring up across in the dim spaces where the walls of the Pelennor stood. The watchmen cried aloud, and all men in the city stood to arms. Now ever and anon there was a red flash, and slowly through the heavy air dull rumbles could be heard. They have taken the wall, men cried. They are blasting breaches in it. They are coming. Where is Faramir? Cried Bergon in dismay. Say not that he has fallen. It was Gandalf that brought the first tidings. With a handful of horsemen came in the middle morning, riding as escort to a line of wains. They were filled with wounded men, all that could be saved from the wreck of the causeway forts. At once he went to Denethor. The lord of the city sat now in a high chamber above the hall of the White Tower, with Pippin at his side, and through the dim windows, north and south and east, he bent his dark eyes, as if to pierce the shadows of doom that ringed him round. Most to the north he looked, and would pause at whiles to listen, as if some ancient art his ears might hear the thunder of hoofs on the plains far away. Is Faramir come? He asked. No, said Gandalf, but he still lived when I left him. Yet he is resolved to stay with the rare regard. Lest the retreat over the Pelennor become a rout, he may, perhaps, hold his men together long enough, but I doubt it. He is pitted against a foe too great, for one has come that I feared. Not the Dark Lord, cried Pippin, forgetting his place in his terror? Denethor laughed bitterly. Nay, not yet, Master Peregrine. He will not come safe only to triumph over me when all is won. He uses others as weapons. So do all great lords if they are wise. Master Halfling, or why should I sit here in my tower and think and watch and wait, spending even my sons, for I can still wield a brand. He stood up and cast upon his long black cloak, and behold, he was clad in mail beneath, and girt with a long sword, a great hilted in a sheath of black and silver. Thus have I walked, and thus now, for many years now, have I slept, he said, lest with age the body should grow soft and timid. Excuse me. Yet, now honor the Lord of Baradr, the most fell of all. His captains is already master of your outer walls, said Gandalf, king of Ogmore, long ago sorcerer, Ringwrath, lord of the Nazgul, a spear of terror in the hand of Sauron, shadow of despair. Then, Mithridir, you had a foe to match you, said Denethor. For myself, I have long known who is the chief captain of the host of the Dark Tower. Is this all that you have returned to say, or can it be that you have withdrawn because you are outmatched? Pippin trembled, fearing that Gandalf would be stung to sudden wrath, but his fear was needless. It might be so, Gandalf answered softly, but our trial of strength is not yet come. Yet if words spoken of old be true, not by the hand of men shall he fall, and hidden from the wise is the doom that awaits him. However that may be, the captain of the spear does not press forward yet. He rules rather according to the wisdom that you have just spoken from the rear, driving his slaves in madness on before. Nay, I came rather to guard the hurt men that can yet be healed, for the Ramos is breached far and wide, and soon the host of Morgul will enter in at many points. And I came chiefly to say this: soon there will be battle on the fields. A sortie must be made ready. Let it be of mounted men. In them lies our brief hope, for in one thing only is the enemy still poorly provided. He has few horsemen, and we also have few. Now would the coming of Rohan be in the nick of time, said Denethor. We are likely to see other newcomers first, said Gandalf. Fugitives from Car Aldros have already reached us. The isle has fallen. Another army is come from the Black Gate, crossing from the northeast. Some have accused you, Mithridir, of delighting to bear ill news, said Denethor. But to me, this is no longer news. It is known to me. Airy nightfall yesterday. Let us go down. Time passed. At length, watchers on the walls could see the retreat of the out companies. Small bands of weary and often wounded men came first with little order. Some were running wildly as if pursued. Away to the eastward, the distant fires flickered, and now it seemed that here and there they crept across the plain. Houses and barns were burning, and then from many points little rivers of red flame came hurrying on, winding through the gloom, converging towards the line of the broad road that led from the city gate to Osgiliath. The enemy, men murmured. The dike is down. Here they come, pouring through the breaches, and they carry torches, it seems. Where are our own folk? It drew now to evening by the hour, and the light was so dim that even far-sighted men upon the citadel could discern little clearly out upon the fields, save only the burnings that ever passed. Less than a mile from the city, a more ordered mass of men came into view, marching, not running, still holding together. The watchers held their breath. Faramir must be there, they said. He can govern man and beast. He will make it yet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this up for tonight. And we're going to be stopping up and continuing on 820 next time. Let's see. We have at least about eight more pages. 8 more pages. But anyway, the next chapter would be chapter 5, the ride of the Ruhr. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here. You may go ahead and discuss, of course, discuss what had just happened. So I will let you go. Laters. Good night, everyone. If you're going to do something fun or whatever, be safe about it. And please do not hurt someone or anyone else while you're doing it. Thank you. Laters.